afternoon, everyone. Great to see you. Great to see the sun. I feel like it came out just in time for this and for us. What you all don't know about Jim, but what likely won't be a surprise to you when I tell you this, is that he writes incredibly creative and very entertaining self-reviews. And so I'm fairly certain that Jim the Magnificent will show up in his next review that he writes for me. As Jim said, I'm Mel Selker. I'm the Chief Marketing Communications Officer at LinkedIn. I've been in tech my whole career, which is very long at this point, and so change just feels like a part of the water that we swim in. But the speed at which the technological capabilities are changing right now is pretty wild. The ability to easily create things that 18 months ago weren't even possible. We can type a few words into AI and create a character that we feel like we know, a character that makes us think, makes us feel, makes us open to hearing a new story. Like many of you in this room, I'm privileged to work with a group of B2B marketers who are navigating this landscape of changing tools, expectations, canvases. And along with all of you, as we're rethinking and reinventing our craft, we're revealing amazing opportunities. And it does feel like there's been a seismic shift in how we see our marketing opportunity in B2B. A few years ago, the idea of a B2B Super Bowl ad felt pretty radical. Now the B2B Super Bowl is something that we look forward to. Did someone say Workday?
Good night! Hey, corporate types, will you stop calling each other rock stars?
You're a rock star. You are a rock star.
That's awesome. I think the Workday team is here. The creative ambition changes what everyone in B2B sees as possible and inspires a boldness, a swagger, a new confidence. 3 years ago, LinkedIn was proud to be a thought partner in starting the first ever Creative B2B Lions Award. The Cannes International Festival of Creativity, which is the most coveted awards in the world for advertising, had never had a B2B category. Since that award was launched, something very interesting has happened. The number of B2B advertising campaigns that have been put forward for major effectiveness awards globally has almost doubled in just 3 years. So let's think about that. Creative competition is inspiring more and more B2B brands to enter awards that they never thought were possible. And yes, the insert your favorite adjective financial environment and the global macro shocks do create headwinds, and they throw curveballs at us. But what doesn't change is the power of creativity, technology, surfaces, and canvases coming together with new mindsets and new confidence to make B2B marketing feel not a million miles away from that renaissance that Jim was talking about. At LinkedIn, we've been on our own B2B creative technological journey. And from it, we've gleaned two insights, both that are born in our data and are inextricably linked with each other. These truths inform everything that we're building, as well as the opportunity in front of us. So here they are. First, buyers are humans. And second, B2B buying is a team sport. So said another way, those buyers, those humans I just referred to, don't make B2B buying decisions alone. At the end of the day, B2B buyers are not hyper-rational automatons, but fully feeling people sitting at the intersection of personal and professional. In fact, you could argue that B2B decisions are some of the most highly emotional because your career, your livelihood, your professional reputation hinges on them. The B2B buyers on LinkedIn are savvy and aspirational. They're managing, building their expertise, careers, personal brands, and businesses. They're also human beings who want to feel connected, entertained, to laugh, and to feel. We took these insights and we ran a series of creative effectiveness studies to understand what creative is most effective with B2B buyers. I probably gave away the lead already, but the creative that leverages this insight that buyers are humans, those campaigns perform much better. More specifically, content that gets a laugh garners 65% higher engagement rates and 42% higher lead generation form open rates. Okay, got it? Be funny, but what else? Well, if you're aiming for long-term brand growth, adopt a unique standpoint and focus your emotional appeal of your narrative on the emotion. In fact, sharing a unique perspective is over 2 times more impactful than just being humorous. Do both, and you're nailing it. And what about adding an A-list actor? Our research shows that actually celebrities didn't help or hurt brand KPIs. But a simple human presence does improve performance. So regardless of what you're going for, just remember to have that human element. Okay, so now we're funny, but we're not just funny. More importantly, we're unique and we're clear. And it's totally fine that I use my talented intern instead of Beyonce. But what else? The most impactful creatives should be context aware. We're operating in too charged an environment, and you can't afford a misstep. But that doesn't mean you need to be heavy when the world around us is heavy. In fact, in our troubling times, B2B creatives that are positive, drive hope, and tap into nostalgia. So for example, they reference a nostalgia phenomenon, or they use nostalgic colors or typographical styles, are more engaged with by audiences. And just as important as what you talk about are the formats and platforms you leverage to tell your story. Companies that leverage 3 or more formats in a quarter for top-of-funnel metrics get 23% higher median dwell time. And we know that attention is the biggest driver of brand uplift. All right, got it. So now we are talking human to human in a context that they want to hear from us, in formats that resonate with them. We're nailing it. But in B2B, that's actually not enough. In fact, while 82% of us are feeling a surge of creative potential, business decision makers tell us that they remain unimpressed by the majority of B2B ads. The reality is that you don't buy CRM software the way that you buy cereal or deodorant or even a car. The reason is that B2B buying is different than B2C. And that is because decisions in B2B are made by a group of people and not by an individual. And once you understand that B2B, it's about the buying group and the emotional and political dynamics that come into play when a group has to make a decision, the whole exam question changes. You move from how do I persuade someone that my product is best to how do I make it easy for a group of people to feel good about deciding on my product. And those are very different questions with very different answers. At its core, influencing buying groups requires a combination of the creative expression that we talked about and 3 things. First, understanding exactly who is in that buying group. And hint, it's actually a bigger, more diverse group of roles and functions than most marketing plans are thinking about. Second, understanding that the emotions and needs that drive decision-making are different in those groups. And finally, using these insights to create messages and campaigns that will motivate them, meet them where they are, and meet their unmet needs. The good news for all of you is that the rest of this day, you will become expert in all 3 of those things. As I close out, I wanted to share a conversation I had with my team as we were putting on the last touches on this session together. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard someone or us talk about the B2B Renaissance. And so I asked my team, is it getting cliche? Is the metaphor overused? Do we need to move on? And someone reminded me that the Renaissance that transformed Europe art and culture and philosophy happened over 2 centuries. And with that frame, we decided that we actually haven't been talking about the B2B Renaissance nearly long enough. In the spirit of today, we've come a long way in advancing B2B marketing, but I'm even more excited about the future and the journey and the creative-led growth that's to come. Thank you all for being here and for the work that you do every day.